Good morning, everybody. Setting up right now. How's everyone doing?
Looking better today.
I'm good.
Good.
My hair is wet, but I'm good.
Hi, Martha. What's the date today? April 9th. I cannot believe we are like into April now.
I'm just flies.
No.
Having fun.
It's funny though, this whole week I've been putting April 2020. Like anywhere I have to put a date, I keep putting 2020. Like I just haven't moved on, I guess. Okay.
Wow.
All right. Okay, we are live on Facebook now. So everyone that is on Facebook, welcome, welcome. It's Saturday, April 9th. And today we're going to be talking about a two-step close. What I love about this is that it is only 2 steps, right? And so a lot of times when we're learning things, especially on social media, there's so many steps involved. And even though you may comprehend and understand them, when we walk away, sometimes remembering 5, 6, 7, 10, 100 steps can be really overwhelming. And so what I love about this training today is it's only 2 steps. And this is coming after the World Health Day webinar and an online event that was held on, was it Wednesday night or Tuesday night? Wednesday. Awesome. And I don't remember what day it was, but on April 6th. And yeah, it is going to be, how do I now follow up with the people that I invited? And this is also just a general training as well. So it can be used for any time that you also follow up with somebody, whether you sent them an opportunity video, whether you're following up with them, something you sent them in rapid funnel, etc. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen. And if we have time today, which I think that we will, we're actually going to break out into some, I think if I can do that, into some rooms and practice. But I will see if I can do that. All right. Present. So how many of us feel like closing our leads is one of the areas where we struggle most? Maybe like you're great at conversation starting or inviting, but you don't really know how to, at the end of the day, close the person. I'm seeing some nods and some yeses from those of you that are on Zoom. If you are watching this on Facebook, drop a me if that is you and sounds like you. And I know that a lot of the time, especially, when we're here on Saturdays and we're thinking about social media and we're learning about it, is that we can get really focused on the social media success, right? So like, did my post get enough engagement? Did this live get enough views? And while those are strong indicators of whether or not our content may or may not be working online in our marketing efforts, at the end of the day, what matters most is not necessarily our level of exposure, but our level of true engagement that leads to sales and recruiting. So if you think about it, if you owned a storefront on, say, a main street, you wouldn't go home at the end of the day and boast to maybe your spouse, oh my goodness, there was 1,000 people that walked by my store today. I feel so successful. What would you talk about? Well, how many people came into the store? How many people bought it? You can't pay the bills on exposure. You can't pay the bills on, oh my goodness, it's so great that all these people are walking by. At the end of the day, it's, am I getting them to open the door to my store? And am I able to close them? And with a sale and with an opportunity, that matters most to me, right? Because sometimes we may be able to close a lead, but maybe we offer them a low-end product because that feels safer for us. We're less nervous about it. And so this close method is going to help you not only close people faster, more regularly. It's easy to remember, which means it's duplicable, right? So it's something you can teach to your teams. And also it'll help you grow and expand what it is that you're actually closing. So you can actually start to get higher orders and actually getting people to join the business and not just necessarily maybe be a passive customer that goes off of auto ship in a month or two. And during a time right now, we're seeing in the direct sales industry that we are seeing a bit of a slump in sales, right? This is across the board. And so what's important to note about that is to recognize that, yes, some people's behaviors are changing. There's things going on in the world that make, you know, a variety of hurdles, from shipping to, you know, products to people's financial status, etc. But we still know, when we look at the statistics online, that people are still searching health and wellness. We know, I posted this last week on Pinterest alone, 36% increase in people searching how to start a business. And number one searched thing on Pinterest now is not DIY and home decor, it's wellness. So we know that people are interested in wellness, and people are interested right now in starting a business. And so when we look at the economy, you know, if you look at the last time we had a dip in the economy, direct sales was one of the only industries that survived, because we have the income opportunity associated with what it is that we're doing. So while it can be easy to get disappointed or to feel like, oh, like this isn't just a great time, people don't have money right now, it's a great time to then talk about the business, because it is that way for them to earn additional income. And so when we are talking about closing leads, so this is going to happen at the tail end of the invite. So the invite has already happened. And, you know, like I mentioned, I think this is a few trainings ago, is that we always want to get a yes. We always need to be going for yes. Because even if it's the answer's no, or, you know, we're not asking outright, it's, can I follow up with you? Sure, you're not ready right now, but can I add you to my customer group, right? It's really being able to establish that connection. And so when we send out that initial invite, whether it's, hey, like, come to this event, you know, or watch this video, our job in that moment, right, is to secure a follow-up appointment with them or meeting. Most people may not make the decision on the spot with you. They need time. They want to watch the video. They want to go to the event. But you can't just say, here, come to the event, and then not talk to them again, or think, oh, if they want it bad enough, they'll message me, right? Our job in that is, great, so when can I follow up with you? If you haven't set that additional appointment, you can still go back now and say, hey, I wanted to follow up. Did you make it to the event? Right? Did you watch the video? If they didn't, say, great, you know, here's the link to it again. How about I follow up on Sunday? Does that give you enough time to watch it? Right? We want to make sure we secure that next meeting. And we're going to talk about what happens at that meeting right now. And I think it's going to make a few of you maybe not uncomfortable, but there may be some discomfort in it, because what I'm going to be asking you to do is to do much less than you've ever done before. And a lot of us want to do more and talk more. And so this is actually going to be pulling the reins back quite a bit, and you're going to see how. All right, so 2 steps to close your leads. Before we get into those 2 steps, though, we want to make sure that one of the tips here is an assumptive close. Write that down. When I am doing a close, it needs to be an assumptive close. And what that means is I am assuming the close is going to happen. I am assuming that I'm going to be successful in what it is that I'm doing. And when we come into it with that assumptive close mindset, we alter our language and we alter our energy, right? You're going to show up excited versus unsure. You're going to show up with energy versus showing up maybe with scarcity mindset. And the questions that you ask are going to be under the assumption that they're saying yes. So you're going to see how that plays out. I believe it's right here on this slide. So say it's a video or an event you sent them to. Hey, did you watch the video? It's awesome, right? It was awesome, right? That event, it was amazing, wasn't it? Right? We're not asking, like, what did you think of it?
Right.
Because that allows opportunity for what? Negative emotion. They're going to sit there, they're going to contemplate. And sometimes, guess what? They don't even know how to feel about it. It was awesome, right? Confirm to them, yes, this was amazing information. I heard so many of you walked away so excited by everything Dr. Nugent shared and fired up and all of that. And so when we're following with our leads, it's awesome, right? What did you like best? Again, we're focusing here on the positive emotions. And when we ask that, we're asked what happens, like, mentally for people and intuitively, is that the brain starts looking for what? Positive parts of it. You could have, a meal in front of you. And if I said, what did you think? You're thinking about maybe the things you liked, the things that you didn't like. You maybe are a bit scrambled because you're not quite sure what to say. But if I say, what do you like best about this? You could put on, be served a dish or put on maybe a dress or something that you may absolutely dislike or distaste. But if I say, but what do you like about it? You may say, well, I actually really like, the shoulder part here. Or I really liked the mashed potatoes, right? We're leading the conversation in a more positive direction. So this is the first part, excuse me, when we follow up, the very first step in the close. Did you watch the video? It's awesome, right? What did you like best? So this kind of reiterates just what I said, but this will be helpful for those of you that are visual learners. So we want to make sure in this assumptive close, in this first stage, we are asking those positive questions, right? Because you're transferring your emotion. You cannot just rely on the event or the presenter. And I think that's really, really important, because I think that when we talk about, and we've discussed this so at length, but I just think it's always so good to remind, when we talked about that success really online and how we present ourselves is expertise plus personality, right? And the expertise comes from Manatech. It comes from people like Dr. Nugent. It comes from Al. It comes from whomever, right? So maybe somebody in your upline. And so they're going to be the source of expertise. It could be an outside resource, a study, research paper, whatever. That's the expert. Your responsibility is the personality. And so even though it was an amazing event, you can't rely on that. You have to make sure that you show up and you say, it's awesome, right? What did you like best? Remember, our job is to cater the experience. And it's all about the energy that you give off. I love that Martha posted in the chat, because I know sometimes when I don't say what people said, people on Facebook Live say, what did they say? Martha said, I'm going to purpose a talk like this, even in conversations with non-prospects, like my husband, to practice this. Absolutely. Right? So your prospect may not know how to feel. I mentioned this as well. Sometimes we just don't know what we don't know. And especially when it comes to this industry, when it comes to wellness, when it comes to health, we may not know what should be important to us. We may not know if this is something that should be on our radar. Does this actually work? Is this, there was somebody that posted on Instagram that I follow about, I don't know, maybe a few days ago. And it was interestingly right after I had shared. So I have chronic illness, I have PCOS, I have hypothyroidism, and I have Hashimoto's autoimmune disorder. And something that someone had posted is she listed, I used to have hypothyroidism, I used to have Hashimoto's, and she talked about these chronic illnesses that she had. And she said, but when she fixed her gut health, all of these things went away. And then sometimes we think, when we start, things become trendy. That's great for us in terms of, the phrase gut health, for example. More people are interested in gut health. But with an increase in popularity also comes an increase in skepticism, right? Is this just another trendy word that people are trying to market and make money off of? Is gut health even a thing? What is your, your microbiome? What are digestive enzymes? Like, do these things even matter? Right. And then we think sometimes too, like, well, we can just get everything from food. Well, in a perfect world, absolutely we could, but we can't. We don't live in a perfect world. We don't live in a society where we, put the environment first. There's toxic chemicals. Most of the food that we eat is extremely over processed and gone through things like factory farming. You guys know all these different things. But like I said, it also comes skepticism. And so even seeing her post reminded me, like, wow, like these things are things I need to keep front of mind. But most people in their life learn to live with their illnesses versus pursue healing and wellness because they think that this is just what I have, right? I just have chronic illness, which means I'm going to have it forever. And, it's probably just genetic and too bad, so sad for Lindsay, right? And so when we ask open-ended questions to our prospects, we leave too much space for them to consider, number one, multiple possibilities, but we leave them in a place where they don't even know like which way to turn and which way to look, right? If you were standing at a crossroads and you could go like, 6 different directions, do you feel confident going, wow, I have so many ways to go? Or do you oftentimes feel overwhelmed? You feel, I don't know where to go. I don't want to make the wrong decision. And so what we would prefer in that moment, we're standing at this crossroads, is to have an expert come stand beside us and go, let's walk down this road. Yes, influence, not manipulation, right? It's that difference between how am I influencing, how am I persuading versus am I manipulating you? None of this meant to manipulate. It's because we care. We have the right answer. And so your job is to tell them how amazing it all is and everything, what it, and the event was, or the video was, the information is, because that question assumes that they liked it. And when you ask it in that way, you're having them search their brain for positive responses, which is going to be a much better conversation for you and also a faster one, right? It's going to get them to that yes significantly faster. So after we've asked that positive question, sorry, I had two more points. Couldn't fit them on apparently. Then they'll tell you what they liked best. Right? And then you just need to listen. What did you like best? And listen. Listen is so key. Even, I have a certification in coaching, as you guys know. And one of the things that we practiced so much of was we would actually be tasked with having our partner speak for 3 minutes on a topic, and we were not allowed to say anything. They wouldn't even allow us to make facial expressions because we were practicing on how can I be more present to this person. Because we want to interject, we want to say, oh, I know exactly what you mean, and then start sharing our perspective and experience. But you need to make sure that you just listen. And even if you say it was awesome, right? What did you like best? Let's say the worst possible thing they can say is, actually, it sucked and I hated it and I hate you and for making me watch this and I didn't like a single thing about it. Great. Thank you so much for your time. A quick no is the best no. A prolonged no means that you are working additional hours on a lead that is never going to convert. A quick no is the best no. Right? And so if it's extreme, like I hate this, I hate you. Okay, great. Let's part ways. If it's somewhere in the middle where they're not ready, right? Or they seem like they are hesitant, you can say not a problem. But why don't I, would you be open to joining my Facebook group? Maybe you'll be able to learn some more information there. Again, how can we go for the yes? But a quick no is the best no. Sorry, I'm having like some congestion. I'm like, oh my God, I can't breathe right now. Okay.
Yeah.
Peggy said, my chiropractor formulated a gut. Here, I'm going to go back quickly so I can read these before we get to the slide. This slide is good. My chiropractor formulated gut product years ago, at least 15 years ago, because he said leaky gut was a problem, core product of a supplement business. Yeah, absolutely. And then Martha had also said, since I'm naturally very outwardly emotional, I'll think in terms of transferring my value to them. Yes, right? If we are people that express our emotions, you can see it on our face. That's why I always tell people, yes, scheduled Facebook Lives can be great in terms of, hey guys, I'm going to go live this Thursday, right? Telling people in advance can be really, really great for getting more people to tune in, for marketing it, having more things to say online. But the best time to go live, the best time to call a lead is when you are excited. Because I promise you, your emotion will never transfer more than directly after you've experienced something that has excited you. There's been so many times where in the moment, an idea has sparked to me and I'm on a walk with my dog and I'll voice note, okay, I want to do a training on this. I want to do a Facebook Live on this. And I can hear it in my voice. Like when I listen back to the voice note, like how amped up I am. But if I don't do it right as soon as I get home, or even before, instead of taking notes, just go live and talk about it. So many times that Facebook Live that I intended to do never happens. Because a few days go by or the next day, or sometimes even a few hours, and I'm not as excited about it anymore. I've already let my excitement out. So the best time is when you are excited. So that's the first part. It's awesome, right? What did you like best? Right? Everyone write that down so we make sure that we understand the first part. Even if you're on Facebook Live, even if you're watching this as a replay, which I'm going to pull it up actually. If there's any of you there that have questions or watching, I want you to write that down in the chat. It's awesome, right? What did you like best? Jot that down. I see there's some of you watching on Facebook Live right now. I see the numbers, waiting for the comments. Put those in. All right, put those down. Commit it to memory.
Say it once more, please.
It's awesome, right? What did you like best? It's not, what did you think? They're like, I don't know. I hated it and I hate you. What did you like best? It's awesome, right? It was awesome. It was so good. What did you like best? That's how we talk. Now the next part. Sounds like you are ready to get started. That is going to be your only response when they say back all the things that they liked about it. Whoa. Sounds like you're ready to get started. Right? It's awesome, right? What did you like best? Well, I loved that they talked about this. I loved that, the focus on gut health and immunity, especially after, COVID, that really, struck with me. And I could see a lot of, the ways that my family could really benefit from this. And the income opportunity was really interesting to me. Well, it sounds like you're ready to get started. And then here is the kicker. You have to shut up. Ask the question.
More.
Write that down. Sounds like you're ready to get started. And say nothing. Your instinct is going to be to say a lot more. I'm just gonna mute there. Your instinct is going to be to say a lot more. Sounds like you're ready to get started. Because this month we have this opportunity and based on everything you just said, it really sounds like you'd be a really good fit here. Yes, Peggy said it. We try to oversell. And what happens the more you talk? Often, the more you talk someone out of saying yes. Because a variety of reasons. Number one, a lot of times if we railroad our prospects, they think, I don't want to work with this Looney Tunes. They're going to call me nonstop. They're going to always be blowing on my inbox. Right? Number two, What ends up happening is that sometimes you may bring up something that they didn't consider. And they go, well, actually, before I make the decision on that, I think I'm going to have to, hold off. Right? You ask the question. Let's go back here. Well, there's some of us that aren't muted. Hold on. I'm going to mute all of us again. Sounds like you are ready to get started. What's the first one? Write it down in the chat. We're going to talk more about this, what happens after this in a moment. But first thing we do, first part of the close. It's awesome, right? What did you like best? Let them talk. You listen. You do some nods in there if they're looking at you, if you're on video, but you let them talk because people like to talk. People want to share their opinion. Do not rob them of that. A big reason why people love direct sales is because of the recognition aspect. There may be times in their life, whether it's at their current job, in their home, in their marriage, in their relationship, in their family, in their social circle, where their voice doesn't have the space to be heard. Maybe they work at a job where they have no connection to like leadership. They have no opportunity to go into a meeting at work and voice their opinion. They're like, I'm just somebody who clocks in, clocks out. They don't care about what I say. Care about what that person has to say. Give them the space to talk. Jerry said, I did that with Mana Bears. I tried to upsell them to the family pack to save on shipping, and then they never bought anything. Yeah, there's a way that we can incorporate upselling, but we have to ask the question and then we shut up. If they are so excited, they're like, yeah, do you know what? I am really ready to get started. I'm going to love this. My kids are going to love it. I can see my husband taking these too. That's when you can say, great. Let's put you down for one. You can get their information, get ready for the order and say, by the way, because you said that so many people would be taking this, just so you know, we do have a family pack option. It sounds like you're ready to get started on the family pack, right? It sounds like you're ready. We're still assumptive upselling, but you gave them the space. We moved forward with collecting the information and then we added that, right? Sounds like you're ready to get started on the family pack instead of going, great, you want the Mana Bear? So here's all the different options. Let's get you the big one because you can save on shipping. Some of these things don't really matter to people, right? So give them the space to talk. Sounds like you're ready to get started. And then this is the uncomfortable part. Shutting up. I just love saying shutting up, but being quiet, giving them the space, sitting there. Because interestingly, there's some cool facts on the next slide. It only takes people on average 4 to 8 seconds to make a decision. 4 to 8. That might feel long to you, but give them the time to think. No talking. Because guess what? The average salesperson only waits 2 seconds after they ask a question before they start talking again. So if it takes somebody on average 4 to 8 seconds to come up with a decision, but you interrupt them at 2 with your word vomit, you're prolonging the decision-making process. You're not actually, giving them the space because they're now what? Active listening. The way I remember I took a seminar before when I was doing my degree, and it was about communication and how we listen and interpret things. And so it was saying the loop, the process is I talk, you listen, you interpret, right? You add in your own perceptions, assumptions, and then you use language to deliver that to me. And then what happens is that I listen, I process, I add my own things, and then I talk back. And so we think that maybe when we're talking that we're doing them a service, we're giving them more benefits and they're listening. And at the same time, they're making decisions. We know based on the listening feedback loop is that it's even though a lot of it does happen instantaneously, they listen and then they consider. So by asking, it sounds like you're ready to get started. You wait 4 to 8 seconds and you could be getting a yes. And then if they say, I'm not sure, what is a great question that we've talked about before that could come after this? Think about it. What's a great question that we've talked about before? Maybe someone remembers. There's a lot of great questions. I wouldn't even ask, do you have questions? Because they're like, I don't know. On a scale of 1 to 10, how ready do you feel to get started? Yeah, good. That's a good other way to word it, Martha, as well. What would it take to be ready? On a scale of 1 to 10, that's usually easy for people to answer, because I'm not asking them to think of a whole answer. I'm asking them to now just think of a number. I think I'm at a 6. What would it take to get you to a 10? Right? And that's when we know, like, okay, now I know where they're at on the scale. That's really great. It's easy for them to answer, but it also puts it into perspective for you. But we have to give them that space. Are you ready to get, or it sounds like you're ready to get started. We're not asking, are you? Again, open-ended. We're not even really asking a question. We're just saying, sounds like you're ready to get started. We're making a statement. And we're telling that person, that prospect, that lead, that everything you just shared with me sounds like you're really excited about this and that this would be a good fit for you. So not only are you assumptive closing, you're complimenting them, right? You're telling them, like, yeah, it sounds like you're really excited about this. And that pause is going to give some pressure. And pressure causes people to make a decision. You waiting puts some gentle pressure on them, right? We're not talking about pressure like the manipulation, or we're like, grabbing a lamp and shining it in their face saying, like, make a decision, right? It's not life or death in that moment. It's not intense. But by saying, it sounds like you're ready to get started, and waiting, it makes that person go, I got to answer. I got to give this answer. And because we're leading with our language, more times than not, the answer is going to be yes. Because remember, even if it's a no, it's a quick no, and that's still good for us. And part of this business, part of sales, you want to be in sales in any business, is you got to learn to accept the no's and move on. It literally means nothing about you. I saw a quote the other day that has actually been like the theme of my week. And it said, let them be wrong. Let them be wrong. Let people be wrong about their assumptions of you, what it is that you do, what it is that you stand for, whatever. Just let people be wrong. Their thing, right? If they say, no, this sucks, you suck, I hate you, I hate all this. Awesome. See you later. But you can't go sulk in the corner, because you're just going to let them be wrong. And that quick question helps get a quick response. A more convoluted question, paragraphs of things for people to consider, prolongs how much they're going to say in response, or how long they need to process everything that you just said. If you're going to write them a thesis statement in the form of a monologue and a sales pitch, then they may need to go, I don't know, this is a lot of information. I got to go talk to my husband about this, or my wife about this, or, wow, this is a lot of information. I didn't understand how complicated this was. We want to make things easy and duplicable. 2 steps. It's awesome, right? What did you like best? Sounds like you're ready to get started. And then you stop talking. because like I said, those 2 steps is duplicable. There are so many different ways that you can look at this, and you can, go to different sales webinars and trainings and whatever and learn multi-step processes that all work. But at the end of the day, we have to keep things nice and simple so that we remember them, we actually do them, and then we can teach them. Right? 2 steps. Majority of the time, you overcomplicate this business, not only for yourself, but for your prospects and your leads. And what happens is you spend all day long doing stuff that really doesn't matter all that much. And you make the processes too long. You overthink how much you should be doing. Maybe you put on your to-do list. Like maybe, go to Lindsay's Saturday trainings every single week. Check mark, I worked my business today. No, you didn't. This is like first part of, it's like going grocery shopping. You can't go grocery shopping and buy the ingredients for a cake and then come home and tell people you got a cake. You have to bake it. You have to actually mix up the ingredients and you got to put it in the oven. You have to do the work after it. Right? And so we add so many things to our day. We think we need to learn, more. Once I learn more, once I understand more, once my Facebook group has a certain number of members, once I have my social media page figured out, once I understand the intricacies of gut health, once I get a PhD like Dr. Nugent, once I, this, and this, we create this like long list of obstacles we need to accomplish before we get anything done. And the truth of the matter is, all you need to do is a duplicable system. Use Rapid Funnel, send the video. Did you watch it? It's awesome, right? What did you like best? Great. It sounds like you're ready to get started. And then shut up. That's how you close somebody. Right? What do we say if they say they need to talk to their spouse? You say, great. If he's anything like my husband, he's going to be really excited for you and be supportive. Still, be assumptive. Amazing. He's going to love this too. Did he watch the video? Because it's awesome, right? Can he get on the phone right now? Can he hop on with us right now? What happens to us is when we hear those things, like, what do I say? I need to talk to my spouse. Our emotions go what? Scarcity. They're going to say no. I have to over convince. I need to come with like all this extra information now. No, stay in the assumptive close. Awesome. I'd love to talk to your husband. Because you know what? People who do this business together as couples, when they have that supportive partner, they go far. And I love that you want to include him in on this because it's awesome, right? That's how you respond. You have to stay in that frame of mind. This is all about emotions, right? This isn't about abstract ideas. This isn't about information. This is about emotions. And people want to work with happy, excited, positive leaders. Because if you believe in them, that may just be what they need to start believing in themselves. And you have to be ride or die, right, for your business. It is awesome. I'm not afraid to talk to your spouse. Bring it on. Because I love talking about this with people because it's awesome, right? Keep your language concise. Stick to the words that work. Don't let yourself spiral. How many of you, when you hear this spouse thing, I just talked to my spouse, how many of you start talking super fast and trying to give them a lot of extra information? How many of you feel your stomach drop? How many of you get off the phone and go call a leader or go try and pull more information from the back office that you can send, start pulling comp plans, start pulling, all this other stuff so that you can give them 2 hours worth of information to now look through because you are scared poopless that they're going to say no. And you think if I arm you with more and more information, because you're panicking. How many of us feel that way? How many of us do that? How many of us feel that sinking feeling in our stomach when they say, I need to go talk to my spouse? I don't know about you, but I'm in partnership with my spouse. I value my spouse's opinion, his support, his encouragement, his ideas. We are a team. My job is not to isolate you from your spouse. No, I want you to work together. Heck yeah, bring them in. Let's do this together. It's awesome, right? All right, so we have some time. I'm gonna see if we can do a quick breakout. I want to see if I have the capability. I do. Let's see. How many of us are here right now? There are 17 of us, so like 16. So if I make 8 rooms. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 8 rooms right now. And some of you are probably feeling uncomfortable. Do not put me in this room, Lindsay. All I want you to do is I want you to practice. You're going to take turns. Okay? You're going to say, so let's say, who can I get? Joan, can you unmute yourself real quick?
Yes.
Thank you, my love. All we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of just show them right here really quickly. I'm gonna say to you, Joan, did you watch the video? Just say yes.
I did.
It's awesome, right?
Yes.
What did you like best? You're gonna let her answer. Okay, so she'll answer, and then all I'll say back is, well, it sounds like you're ready to get started. And then I want you to hold and count at least 4 to 8 seconds. If she wants to start talking right away, she can, but I would prefer you guys, even the person that is playing the prospect, just wait 8 seconds. Let the person pretending to, well, you guys are all associates, you're not pretending to be it, but the person doing the associate role, let them feel uncomfortable. Let them look at you and just smile, and you guys are gonna be like, this is weird, and you're gonna laugh, and that's okay. But that's what you're gonna practice. You're gonna each take a turn, and then we're gonna come back in. So I'm gonna give you about, I'm gonna say 10 minutes to do it, and then we're gonna come back and like quickly debrief, and then we'll be able to go. Does that sound good to everybody? Awesome. So I'm gonna go ahead and create those. There's probably gonna be, let's see.
We just decide who goes first and when we get together?
Yes, there's going to be one group of 3, and so you guys can just take turns and figure that out. So I think we had someone pop off because I think that they were just, I know like Amanda, for example, rides while she's listening. So she was probably like, oh, I can't do a breakout. So I'm going to open these rooms now. They should be inviting you. So go in there. 10 minutes. I'll give you guys a heads up. Well, hello to some of you that are coming back. Everyone else, I gave a little leeway to, they don't feel like they're just cut off. Being forcefully removed.
Thank you for that, Lindsay. It was good.
Good.
I've been in the room before. I was at one of the Eric Worre's, the ladies thing there a year ago. And that was the first time I ever used the rooms. And I think they're a wonderful thing, and we're going to learn how to use it ourselves.
Yeah, it's super easy. And I like the being able to practice. So we're going to start incorporating this a lot more into what we do. Shorter trainings with like 2 steps. Even if like, putting together, for example, a Facebook group requires like 8, we're going to focus on like 2 to 3. And then we're going to go into breakouts and be able to either talk about an idea, practice a concept. Because again, you guys learned, obviously, and I want to hear from you guys. You guys learned so much, obviously, being in the session with me. But how many of you more did it stick with them because you got to practice it?
Yes.
Right?
Good.
Amazing. And let's hear some, we have a few minutes here. Let's kind of do a debrief. So what did you see? How did you feel? What did you think?
Well, I was in with Mary and Dawn. And Dawn and I are both have been with Manatech mostly as customers and dabbled the business. So we're really trying to focus on the business now. And Mary is very experienced as the business. So when we're doing, for example, what did you like best? And then the answer that Dawn gave me, I said, now my, like he said, he liked the science behind the products. I would have naturally said, oh yes, that's what drew myself to the company. And she says, no, stick with the script.
Yes, sounds like you're ready to get started. These are things that you can bond over when they're already on your team. These are things, conversations that are going to come up, that are going to continue to solidify. But I'm proud of you for holding that back, and for Mary being there as that person who's been working the business to say, just say the words, shut up, be uncomfortable.
Right. Mm-hmm.
The thing that helps me is to just continually remember, I'm trying to make this whole thing duplicatable. And the more that I talk, the less I am making it duplicatable.
Right.
So, having one simple question sounds like you're ready to get started. Or what did you like best? I mean, it really keeps it simple. And Lindsay, you had said initially, we make this way too complicated. And that is something that I know is true for me. So thanks for the simplicity of today.
Oh, good. I'm so glad.
I love this opportunity. I love group process. I stumble around in it sometimes, but I get very polished when I go on. So I know where I'm going with this. Thanks for the opportunity.
You're so welcome, Dawn. And I know that it can feel weird to practice with like a fellow associate, but the practice is so incredibly valuable because that practice makes perfect, right? And part of that practice is with your customers. You may fumble around the first few times you guys use this, but keep going. What else? Who else wants to share how their breakout room went? Diane?
I really got confused because I was trying to follow my notes. So I didn't know if I had the right process, and just simply a bullet point, like if you were going to have us do this again, would help me tremendously, as to making sure that I was following the process. Because even though I've been in Manatech for 30 years, I have never done the steps of picking up the phone and asking or working with a client or whatever. So this is like I'm a beginner day one.
I love that. And I think too, what's important, like, those of you that come to these trainings and you're invested, is build the relationships with each other, right? So even Diane saying, I think it'd be beneficial for me to like practice a few more times. Then someone, right? Someone message her and say, I need the practice too. Do you want to, like Martha's saying me, so it's connect with each other and go, okay, do you want to like do this right after the call? What do you have available tomorrow? Let's just do some role playing tomorrow. Let's practice this sequencing, right? We're a part of, when we see in the direct sales industry, this quote used all the time, in business for yourself, but not by yourself. Stop thinking you're alone all the time. If you need help, connect with someone, because what's interesting is sometimes connecting with me, right? I'm giving you the information. So I laid out the steps, and even, what I'm hearing from Diane is I'm still beginner. And so I'm not quite sure I have it down right, looking at my steps, but talking, with whoever she was in the breakout room with, practicing with Martha after, that's what's going to put it in your brain, right? You guys talking together, it'll help make you learn faster than even if you just keep watching the training over and over again. It's actually, right? You can watch a how to ride a bike video a million times, but until you get on that bike, that's what you got to do, right? You just got to keep getting on it, falling off of it, because you're going to learn that way. So I love that, Diane. Thank you for sharing that. And thank you, Martha, for offering to do some practicing. I'm sure there's a lot of you that want to practice with each other too. So make those connections.
Hey, Lindsay, I had a question that came up as Wayne and I were practicing. I went through the thing, he asked me, he was a little unclear about the steps. So having them written down, I think would be helpful too. But when I went to him and did it, I said, did you watch the video? He said, well, part of it. And I said, so it kind of, there was a derailment right about there. So I guess it's like, you might address, what do you do when you get an objection? It's not really an objection, but it's like, it's a sidestep early on in the process.
Right. And so stay in that assumptive mindset. I don't care if you watched all of the video or 5 minutes of the video. Of what you watched, what did you like best?
Right. That's what I did.
Focus on the information they don't know because they didn't watch it. So let's not even talk about it. I don't even want to say, well, go back and watch it and let's talk later. The fact that they exited watching it could be for a variety of reasons. Maybe that's telling me they don't have enough time to watch this. So of what you watched, what did you like best? Oh, I like when you talked about this. Yeah, that was awesome, right? So it sounds like you're ready to get started. It's just sticking to don't allow their answer to make you deviate from the script. Just keep bringing it back. And if they, again, say, I didn't have time to watch it, you say, great. Why don't I follow up with you tomorrow at 10 a.m.? Does that give you enough time? Again, that's putting that little bit of gentle pressure on them. And they know now, okay, they're going to message me tomorrow at 10 a.m. And guess what? If they ghost you, awesome.
Right. Let them go. Yeah, I set a schedule with him actually when he said he hadn't seen it all and whatnot. And
perfect.
I said, what's a good time when you think you're sure that you can watch it? Yada yada. And he told me a time, so we set up a time to follow up that way. So.
Great. I love that. Yes, Martha. I told somebody else about those this week. It's like she's got these like amazing cards.
I also did this on the back.
Oh, I love that.
Okay, so now sometimes, like if they said, oh, I like the science and the detail, if I say, well, it sounds like you're ready to get started, I mean, that's not really a connection there, is it? Just because they like the science and the detail, or do we just assume that there is a connection?
Yeah, it's like, well, it sounds like you're ready to get started then. And if they may say like, well, what makes you think that? That's what we're all about. We're about the science.
Okay.
Right? So still just stick to it and let what happens, right? Like part of this too is you're not going to be able to always, of course, have a script for every single thing because people are going to answer the way they answer. But if you stick to the talk less and be assumptive, you will gain so much more. And the little, like Michael said, objections or, the little side steps or things that we may be like, ooh, that was kind of a short answer. I don't know where to go from here. Don't ask for them like, well, tell me more about that. Right? Now you're getting in your little therapist hat. What do you think about that? What do your parents think about that? No, right? It's great. It sounds like you're ready to get started. If they only had a 2-second answer, it's like, great. You sound like someone who knows what they want, right? Don't take somebody's lack of a monologue to be that they're not interested or they're like trying to skirt past a conversation. Majority of the time, again, 4 to 8 seconds to make a decision. The amount of times I'm ready to pull a trigger on a purchase, a product, a sale, opportunity, program, whatever, and they want to know more and more about what I think, I'm like, I already said yes. Can we not just like write it up? Like, here's the credit card. Like, you're driving me bananas in pajamas. I don't care. I remember the first car I ever bought. the salesperson almost talked me out of it because he kept trying to show me every little thing. And I was like, listen, I'm a chick who is not interested in cars. As long as I know how to turn it on and use the blinkers, I think I'm pretty good to go. So let's just move on. I'm going to the mall. So I'm meeting my friends. I need the car. So let's get this moving. I'm not going to be here for another hour while you tell me about the engine and all these other things. Because guess what? I'll learn what I need to learn them. I remember because I skirted past this conversation, he probably thought I was a bratty. I was young. I was like 20. So, some bratty 20-year-old girl to him. And I remember he kept trying to show me in the back trunk because in my car, my first car, you couldn't just pour, if you ran out of gas, a jerry can into it. You had to put like a metal spout into it first. And he kept trying to show me this. And I said, is there gas in the car? And he said, yeah. I'm like, then I don't need to know. And so the first time I ran out of gas because I was a young girl that said, I could probably go another 50 kilometers on empty. I'm sure I can make it happen. No, did not make it happen. And I remember like not knowing how to fill this jerry can up. And luckily a tow truck driver came by and he like shoved in a screwdriver. And then I went home and I told my dad, and my dad looked at the manual and he said, well, there's a metal spout in the back. Yeah, that could have saved me up front in learning about it. But I didn't care then. And I didn't think, oh, I should have listened to that sales guy. I just said, oh, that's great. Now I'll know for next time. I'm going back to the mall now. Like, whatever, right? I don't care. So let people just let their short answers be an indication to you of, this is someone who knows what they want. I'm still going to shut up. I'm still going to use the language. And if they have more to say, if they have more questions, let them pose that. Let them lead that. Your job is just to get them as close to the yes as quickly as possible.
So Lindsay, so if we say, what did you like most about it? And they say, it didn't move me. Is that when we say, well, if you just had to say on a scale of 1 to 10, how close are you? We go to that next.
Yeah. And I even love that, like, it didn't move me. Well, what would have moved you? Even asking that, right? Very similar to the on a scale of 1 to 10. Because they may say, I was really looking for this. And you can say, that's great. I have the information for that. Or I have the video for that. Right? Or I have the leader you need to talk to for that. But again, it's always just stay in that assumptive mindset. Keep it simple. Keep it towards a yes. Everything they say to you, trust them. Remember, we did this in another training before, but it's always assume that your leads or customers or associates, whomever, are forceful, intelligent, whole people. If you believe that they are intelligent and resourceful and whole, you will not take a short answer of they lack understanding, they don't know what they're talking about, I need to convince them more, I need to ask more questions. Accept what is being presented to you. Oh, I liked the science. Great. It sounds like you're ready to get started then. Shut up. They may say, well, yeah, I mean, if you're all about the science, then I guess I am ready to get started. Oh, we are. Perfect. So what's your credit card number? Like, get into it, right? All right. Was this helpful for everyone today? And we liked the format. Okay, cool. We're going to start doing this with the breakouts. And then again, practice with each other.
I put something in the message. A lot of us, we don't have contact with each other. So I just put it in there. If they want to email me, and my email address is there.
Perfect.
Your name and email address, and then I'll amalgamate it and send it to everybody who's willing to do this.
Perfect. And, if we end this and you haven't sent it over, you guys can connect on Facebook, even maybe just post on the Facebook Live, like I was at the training, and then, or like, hey, I want to connect with someone to practice. Do that. If you're watching this as a replay and you weren't here and you want to practice, reach out to somebody too, right? They may not even have been here today and said, hey, can you go watch this training? And then let's practice together here.
Which Facebook, are you still talking about North America?
Yeah, it's in the North America one.
Yeah. I avoid that one often just because I can't find anything.
So, I mean,
Lindsay, can I jump in for 1 second?
Sure.
Hi, Sarah.
I love the idea of practicing. I've been on Facebook, watching on Facebook. How many, so doing it once to me does not constitute practice.
No.
So if you've done anything of and become relatively competent, practicing to learn an instrument, right? Or play a sport, you don't do it once and go, well, I practiced. It's massive repetition, massive, which means set a goal. I'm going to do it 10 times. Do this 100 times. But that's commitment to learn competency. Does that make sense? So don't do it once. If you're only going to do it once, I'm going to say don't even bother doing it, because it's not going to move the needle. So it's not, practice doesn't make perfect, guys. Perfect practice makes perfect, which means every single one of the ones you do it intentionally and learn from it versus saying, oh yeah, I'll just do it and check the box. Right? Lindsay did not get this good by doing it once. And it shows. And yet all of us want to have that kind of competency that she does. And that's going to come with the work it's going to take. So it's going to come at a cost, and the cost is commitment to practice, 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 and practice. Repetition, repetition. You guys, you're sick of me repeating that repetition is the key, but repetition and consistency is what moves the needle.
Go play your scales.
Yes,
Yeah.
Michael, there's my musician, right? So I mean, seriously, look at this. Michael, how long have you played?
Oh, I played in fourth grade.
Okay, so you played a long time. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Do you still practice?
Yes.
Yes. I don't have any gigs right now because of COVID, but so that it's kind of fallen off. But yeah, still do.
Right? So 40, 50 years later, he still practices. Why? Because that's how we get better, not just doing it once. Sorry, Lindsay. I just don't want people to do that once and check the box and think they've done the training for the week.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about
This
that
was
too, guys. This is
Awesome.
the checking of the box, and watching the training too isn't practicing. Why? Going back and rewatching this, you actually have to connect with the group and practice on your customers. Those are great people to practice on. You're going to have to practice on them. Pick up the phone. Again, don't let the amount of also practicing make you go, well, I can't call my customer until I get this perfect. You're not going to get it perfect each and every time. Because like I said, we don't know how our customers are going to respond. Every time there is going to be something new that you learn from doing it. But absolutely, as Sona just mentioned, you have to go do it. Practicing with your associates is like Michael said, playing, going back to your scales. In dance, it's going back to the ballet bar. You have to focus on the foundations. If I'm going to spend a day doing calls, close with my leads, guess what I'm going to do first? I'm going to call Sona and go, okay, Sona, I got the next hour booked. I'm doing calls. I'm going to quickly do this role play with you. Perfect. In the frame of mind, got it down. See you later. Pick up the phone. Now I'm calling my customers, right? Use each other, connect in business for yourself, but not
By yourself.
You guys got it. Hope you guys have an amazing Saturday. Next Saturday, we will be off because of the Easter weekend. So enjoy your time. It's not a time to go like, oh, I don't have to think about anything over the weekend. Practice it with your family and friends, right? You never know. Sometimes those people are waiting too to be our customers, but you never ask them because you're just too darn scared. Have an amazing week, and I will see you guys this week. Don't forget, we had a merge this week, lots of other fun stuff at Manatech. So see you all somewhere else. Bye, friends.
Bye-bye.